Hello, Ogi. Welcome to this sales training. Today we are going to talk about Australia. That is the country that we are going to move. We are going to send our strong roots efforts to make it possible. And today we are starting talking about social factors that we have to take in mind before going there. So first one, we are talking about customer satisfaction. So we need to take in consideration how is actually customer satisfaction in Australia. So that's why we are using different feedbacks from the different industries. So in this case, the first one is the car industry. So it's a really high customer satisfaction. It's 92.3%. So moving on to the next one, we have hardware stores that has 91% of customer satisfaction. And now we are understanding that in general, the customer satisfaction is 80%. It's a lot and it's really high number. So we as a team, we need from now start thinking at least to reach the 80% of this customer satisfaction. So moving on to another social factor, it's human rights. This is the second key factor that we are discussing today. Why human rights? Australia is a country that most people want to move. People are thinking to go there because Australia, it's a really rich country, and I'm not talking about currency or money itself. I'm talking about people. I'm talking about the government that allows the country to move forward uh, through the competitors or through other countries. In this case, we have fundamental freedoms. So for the government, it's really important to everyone to have the freedom to express, to feel themselves that they are heard, and they feel also motivated to invest in that market specifically. The next one, social inclusion. You know that nowadays brands are moving on to make them feel closer than to the customer. That means that this social inclusion, it's one of the key factors that we have to take in mind by the time that we are moving on to Australia. So we need to be closer to our clients. We need to be closer to our leads. We need to make them feel that part of the brand. We are not selling just the products that we already know that we have. We need to be closer, like we are right now discussing in this conversation. And one important thing that the Australian government is doing, the global abolition of the death penalty. What is this? What this have a relationship with us as a company? It's the value, the the different principles that we have as a company. So why Australia? Because we as a company think that those values that they have are going to the same direction as ours. So that's why human rights is also important for us. That's why you are part of this team, and that's why we are training you in this way for you to get more feedback, to get more information, more than a sales that we know that you are one of the top performers that we have in our team. I know that. So that's why we are putting so much effort on this to give you all the information that you need to the future so you can bring all those leads and become them all to customers. Okay. Now, moving on, we are talking about the business etiquettes that we have to take in mind. But first, we are talking about the things that you need to learn before the meetings. So first one, we have punctuality. Punctuality is a key factor in Australia. But you are going to see in the next couple of minutes that it's important to be punctual, but the meetings doesn't start at that time. And we're going to discuss that later. So be punctual. It's crucial to start with the right foot in this case. Don't bring any gift. That's a key factor because they are going to think, or they are going to feel that it's a kind of a bribery. So we are not given anything. I know that maybe in our countries, it's like showing respect, showing some interest, showing that you are interested in investing this relationship from the beginning. But for the Australians, it's kind of don't do that. If you are here with me, that's the most important thing. We don't need to have anything. We don't need any gifts from you. Having your time, it's the best gift that we can have. So that's why we are not uh, giving you some budget or something for any gifts. So keep that out of your budget so you're good to go. Now, how can we get the best outfit for that occasion? Dark suits, white shirts, and a tie for the guys. And for you, dark suits and white shirts, just to make you feel comfortable, because they used to talk about business, but now that we're talking about what should you do during the meeting, is this one, a small talk. This small talk is related to the punctuality. You need to be punctual, but before we are going to talk about business, this 5 or 10 minutes, we are going to have a small talks, mostly about sports. So Australians doesn't like to just go straight to the point. They used to be like, how is your family going? How is the sports? Which team are you supporting? Which team are you fun? Something like that. So they get to know you better. So they are more interested in you. But that's why we need to think more about how can be closer as a brand, but also selling ourselves. Shake hands. Shake hands, it's crucial for them. They really consider that as a good point to make you feel comfortable with them. In this case, we are talking about strong handshake. So the strong handshake empowers you to make them feel that you are there with them, like in the same time that you are, since the first point of the conversation, you are with them. Now, what about you can speak faster or maybe slower? Speak plainly. That means that everything that you will say, taking count that they are going to feel like it's real. Let's say that okay, we opened a business back in Japan and we couldn't make it. One of our sales managers didn't show up, something like that, and everything. So so we need to make sure that the things that we are saying are like true and just get to the point, because they are going to think everything you say literally. So if you say it's something bad that you're joking, no, they are going to take that as a joke. So we need to make sure that everything is um, plainly. Meetings for them, it's kind of a debate. So don't worry if they say that your product is not good. They are going to go straight forward and say your product isn't good. I don't like your product. Your product is it's not what we are looking for. So be prepared, because they are going to be really direct with you. Alcohol is allowed, but but you need to see the host and follow the lead. So if the host is having fun, you can have fun. If the host, it's like, yeah, it's like kind of, I'm quiet, I'm just here, see what's going on, try to follow the lead, okay? After that, dining. It's so important about different things that we have to take in account here. Dining, in this case, we are talking about utensils. That means in your left hand, you always need to carry the knife, and in your right hand, the rest of them. It's fine. When you are not eating, anything, your hand should be on the table all the time. Restaurants, which ones? The expensive ones or the cheaper ones? Always the expensive ones. Who is paying? The ones, if we are inviting them, we're paying full price. They are not paying anything. And tips, they are going like 10 to 15%. So we have to make that in account when we are doing our budget. Tips, it's like mandatory. Of course, they are not going to say that it's mandatory, but most of them, that shows a good impression of the company. So you have to take that in mind. Some recommendations, do and don'ts that we have to do. Do learn about sports. Remember the small talk. Make an appointment. If you want to meet with someone in Australia, you always need to make an appointment. You cannot just show up. Then call them using their first name. If they introduce themselves with the first name, you can assume that you can call them using their first name. Private space, you need to be at least 1 feet apart because they really respect the private space. Do not be late. That shows some lack of professionalism. We don't want that. Talk about business directly. Remember the small talk. Don't talk about business directly. Be over prepared. Don't be over prepared. That will consist in some negative feelings with those who have prepared in advance. So don't be over prepared. And of course, don't bring any gifts. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
Good, good. Because now we are going to some game tests. It's 5 questions. Don't worry. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for just 10 seconds. And now we are going to play a Kahoot. You are going to see my screen right now. And you will see that there is a PIN number that you can see on the screen. You just have to tap the screen or just scan the QR code. And we were good to go. Let's see. Okay, awesome. Let's start. So, Australia cultural guidelines. So the first question is, being over-prepared for meetings can result in positive feelings because it helps people to understand the topic better, negative feelings toward those who have prepared in advance, but positive feelings about your preparation to lead the way in the meeting. Good. Let's go. Negative feelings. We saw that in the last part of the presentation. Next one, of course, you are at top of the lead. Next one. Bringing gifts to the meeting is considered a valuable thing in Australia. It's true or false? False. You are not even thinking. That's nice. That's cool. That's really cool. Okay. Third question. The most common topic in the small talk is sports, family, lifestyle, or money. You don't even think it. Oh boy, that's good. The sports. Okay. Let's go to the next one. Why it's important to know about the environmental factor in Australia? Because climate change affects people, businesses, and industries to find new leads that can become customers, to do more advertising depending on the weather mood, or to know when we can schedule a meeting, a possible lead. Because climate change has affected people, businesses, and industries. Remember that we talked about that we need to know everything about social and all the factors to the laws to be inclusive and to make them feel closer to the brand, okay? Let's go to the last one. The lobbying code of conduct is important because improves the revenue because the company show interest in people's rights or improves outcomes for the individual and the company. Let's go. That's why we need to know more about the social factors in every aspect. Okay, so that will be all, Augie, for today. Thank you so much for showing up in this training session. And of course, you are the first one. So happy to have you. Thank you so much and hope to see you back in Australia. Okay. Yeah. Bye bye now.